it'd be nice to have some fluff to fill up
Cool
stuff.
Okay. And then
Space.
do you have anything interesting you cooked recently?
I'm
trying to think.
What have we done?
Steph,
I don't think.
did we do anything interesting?
Sausages.
Yeah, I mean, like I could talk about sausage and peppers.
Yeah, I mean, you can always talk about sausage and peppers. I mean, come on.
Totally.
That's good stuff.
We didn't talk about enough sausage in the last episode.
That sausage clip was pretty good, huh?
We were having that pre-mixed Manhattan in a bottle.
Oh yeah, how is that?
It's actually pretty tasty.
Yeah. That's the one that was getting talked about on the Discord server, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's pretty good. You just pour it over ice.
Yeah.
And I didn't add a cherry to it, but I think I found some cherries cleaning the garage fridge. So we'll try those out.
I'm always skeptical of those like pre-mixed in a bottle and like that, but I don't know. It's gotten some good reviews from the folks we talked to.
No, it's like, it's good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's like the best Manhattan I've ever had, but I'm not expecting that out of a bottle.
Sure.
So
yeah.
But no, it tastes pretty damn good.
Yeah, it gets the job done.
Absolutely.
Okay. Excellent.
And that's the best thing is I didn't have to have all the ingredients and then spend the time being Mr. Mixologist.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing is like
and creating a drink.
It's having all the correct ingredients at the same time when you want it. And you're like, oh, do I just store the ingredients for like these 4 cocktails or that can be a pain in the ass.
That I'm going to make 3 times a year.
Totally.
I don't know.
Totally. I mean, that's the
So
thing. You have to okay, I'm just going to get into Manhattans every night for a month. Otherwise you know what I mean? You just have all these ingredients for nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool.
All right. Shall we get started? Yeah.
Let's get this party started. I don't know what I'm singing.
That's not even a song, Nick. It's not even a song.
I know.
Oh, we'll stay out late to gastrobate and hang out with our friends. We'll share a few good microbrews, the good times never end. From seaside to the mountains, we'll travel many lands. Eateth of their pub cuisine and hear their local bands. We'll drink it from a bottle in a can or what's on tap. We'll rate each brew as we do with fairness and a map. Spirits are up, we'll fill our cup, the wind is in our sails. We'll drunkenly mix metaphors and travel hoppy trails.
Welcome back to Hoppy Trails, a show where Nick and I don't just travel this trail alone. We bring our lady folk along with us.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Travis, and today we have a returning special guest. And special guests, why don't you two introduce yourselves?
I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Monica.
And those are our wives that you may remember from episode 3, Tobin James, where we did a wine special. And they're back tonight, and we're going to talk about some beer and some other things, and we're just generally going to have a good time.
It feels like it was so long ago that we did this. It was only a few months ago.
Yeah, it really wasn't that long ago, but it feels like it was forever. Yeah. So, ladies, you two ready to talk about some beer?
Let's do it.
Sure am.
Excellent. Well, I wanted to actually start off by talking about a little adventure that Stephanie and I had this last weekend. A little misadventure, if you will. And some of you may know Stephanie and I have another podcast called You, Me, and Squee, where we talk about, our adventure raising our little daughter, Drew Francis. And, so we talk about this a little bit on that show, but I wanted to really get into it here and talk about what we were doing. And yeah, Steph, you want to kind of give a little background?
Well, I think the listeners know how much you love beer.
Yeah, that's true.
I think you proved how far you're willing to go to save a beer and just, your appreciation for a good beer, what you're willing
and I
to
appreciate
do.
that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So we were having a day out. We, a little morning down at the beach, and, we're down here in the Monterey area. So beaches everywhere. And, I'm not going to get into how we got to this one particular beach, but we did end up there. And because we were having a beach day, I thought, hey, what'll be really great is if I bring these beers out and I take some Instagram content photos, and it'll be really exciting. And, so I brought out, a bag of dried hops and all kinds of stuff, thinking this is going to be great and really professional looking. And
He's
Um,
really tapping into his creativity. I loved it.
Oh yeah, I was digging deep. I was digging real deep on this one. And so
I could tell.
we get out to this, this little kind of cove area, and get Steph and the baby set up, and we're kind of doing our thing, and I'm like, oh look, there's a piece of driftwood, and it's got a rock behind it. This will be a perfect backdrop. So I'm over there. I'm taking photos and like Vogue and all of this, dude. And I'm on the ground and diving to catch the photos. I'm really putting my all into this.
Trying to get the best sound, the waves.
Oh yeah. Just like, trying to silence the seagulls and like just catch that wave crashing.
Were there any other people on the beach when this was going on?
Not at first. And then as things unfolded, there were a couple of people. But
Did you notice any phones potentially recording you?
No, nobody even seemed to notice the high drama that was unfolding before them.
They missed out on some incredible footage.
Well, they missed out on some absolute drama. I think someone's going to write a movie about this one day. And so I'm getting these shots, and it's perfect. And you know how it is. You're like, oh, but it would be even more perfect if I take the high risk shot over here. And I'm like, I'm going to get, the beer can right there, as the surf comes in and washes over it, like you see in all the, all the best advertisements and all of that. I'm like, I'm totally going to bite off of that. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be great internet content. We're going to get all the internet points. So I get out there. I'm watching the waves coming in and out. And, this particular beach has all these signs posted everywhere warning you of, sneaker waves, right? Like, oh, everything's going to look fine. And then a sneaker wave will come in and get you and pull you straight out. And I mean, it kind of is a serious thing, right? Like every year there's, somebody from out of town doesn't really know and they get caught and get pulled out. So, I mean, it's real.
It's known. This particular beach is known for that.
It is known for that. So I'm there. I'm kind of watching the waves come in and out and kind of getting a rough gauge for where they are. And I'm like, all right, I've got it down. This is going to be perfect. I set the can down right about at the edge of where the water is going to just come up, and it's going to be perfect. I take a couple of steps back, and I start getting down into position to take this picture. And a sneaker wave comes up. It just snatches the beer and washes it out. And I'm like, oh. I've got the baby with me. And I'm like, Steph, oh my God, the beer is in the ocean. And I'm like trying to run the baby up to Steph and like kick my shoes off so I can go out and get it. And I like run out into the water and the baby's crying.
The beer is in the ocean.
Yes.
That's going to be a phrase we hear for the rest of the day.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
From the baby.
She's just
the beer's in the
crying.
ocean.
She's crying. The beer's in the ocean. The beer's in the ocean.
And she just knows it's a high stress. Daddy's like really
I'm
upset.
distraught.
He's really upset about this. He's running towards me. Starts kicking his shoes off.
Oh yeah, dude, my laces are all knotted because I'm just ripping them off, and
so she just starts to cry because she really doesn't understand what the
crying.
big deal is.
Oh yeah, just worried.
And in her mind, she just keeps saying, "Daddy, put your shoes on."
Yeah,
because I think in her mind, if his shoes are on, she's not going to go in the water.
Yeah. So that's what she's crying. Daddy, put your shoes on. Daddy, put your shoes on. As I'm like rolling my jeans up and I'm out there, and here's the thing: the beer is buoyant enough that it stays like right at the surface, just kind of like half down but bobbing there at the surface. And
so it's the can was not opened yet, right?
not open yet,
Okay.
thankfully. So it's bobbing there at the surface, and the way the shape of the ocean floor is there, and the way the waves go, this beer is basically caught. It's just caught in this point where it won't really come in any further. It's not really going any farther out. So it's just staying this distance from the shore. But the problem is, as I get close to it, is right where the ocean floor just kind of drops off. And it's not like it doesn't like drop off into the Marianas Trench, although it might as well have. But basically it's, if I take one more step to get within reach of this thing, I'm going to be not just knees deep, I'm going to be chest deep. And so I'm just stuck. I'm wearing my clothes. I can't just like dive in there for this beer, and I can't reach it. And so I like come back all defeated, and the baby's crying and, crying, Daddy, put your shoes on. Daddy, put your shoes on. And so I do put the shoes back on, defeated, calm the baby. And we go back and we're sitting on this log, just watching this beer, Bob, in the ocean. Baby's sitting there sniffling. She's a little bit better. And I'm just like, I don't want to give up on this beer. I don't want to give up on this beer.
It's so funny because this is when you see all these beautiful pictures on social media, like this is what the day actually looks like, and
Yeah.
all it takes to get some of those shots.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like babies crying,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah. Everyone, every time you look at social media from now on, you see that perfect shot, think that there's a baby crying somewhere to get this photo. And so we're sitting there and the baby's, having a little bit of a snack. And I like get up to go kind of walk down the beach a little and look at it. And it's kind of slowly pushing southward, but staying about that same distance. And, and the baby starts to cry. No. So I like, okay, come back, grab her. And she's like clutched onto me. And so Steph goes and takes a couple of steps and like, oh, I don't know. Is it getting closer? And the baby's now crying for Steph because she don't want Steph to go in. So I'm like, okay, this is it. This is the perfect timing. Yeah, baby. Oh yeah, go to mom. Yeah, no, that's good. That'll make mommy not go in the ocean. Go. And so I just kind of like sneak off, and I go down the ocean, down the shore a little bit, and it's like, I don't know, 100 yards, something like that down, and it's gotten in close enough that I think I can get it. And so I'm like, all right, this is it. I've got to do it. Rip the shoes off, roll the pants up again, run out, grab this beer. I barely snatch it from the edge of oblivion, bring it back just victorious. And I'm finally able to get those sweet, sweet Instagram shots that everybody
That's an amazing
got to
story.
see. Everybody got to see.
It's like an epic.
yeah. I mean, really, we debated just letting it go.
So many times. So
So-
many times. We thought like, it's just gone.
It's just gone. But
Poseidon
Travis,
has it. Nothing
Yeah.
we can do.
but it was
And Drew
just
saw
close
with her
enough.
own eyes.
We had to
Persistent
give it
pays off.
another shot.
That's right. That's right. That was a lesson for our daughter that you never give up. You
And
never
it's
give
like,
up on a double IPA.
yeah. And it was 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, 10 a.m.
And here we're losing our beers in the ocean.
So how cold was that water?
Here's the thing is it was probably a lot colder than it felt like, but I had that adrenaline going and I was so focused on the emergency at hand. It's like the grandmother when their baby's under the car and they like lift the car up and it was like
My
that.
God.
That was my baby out there in the water.
Well,
And I disregarded the icy cold, fought back Neptune, and saved that beer from the cold briny deep.
Oh my
Am I a hero? Yes. Yes, I am.
You are hero of the
Yes,
day.
I am. But it was great. Then we got some good shots, drank the beer. It was wonderful. Posted about it on Instagram, and yeah, it was a good little start to the day. There was a fun little adventure.
It actually was a hilarious scene. And Drew, just her reaction made everything so much more funny. Like she was on loop. Beer in the ocean. Beer in the ocean.
Oh yeah. She said it. She said it again today. Actually, I think when she woke up from her nap, she said, "Beer in the ocean." It's like, yes, baby, that's right. The beer was in the ocean.
Priorities.
She's still
Daddy
processing.
saved it.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah. So that was our little adventure. Fun little time there, and yeah, saved the beer, and now everybody knows exactly what it takes for us to make those sweet, sweet Instagram photos. So if you're just perusing, why don't you just click on that little heart there and leave a comment about just how much blood, sweat, and tears we put into each one of those posts.
I guess
And I think that beer tastes even better because of what we all
Having-
went through.
That's
a little quick seaside aging.
That's right. That's right. Well, we had that one at Spider City. Remember that had the sea salt.
Sea salt.
It's like, hey, I just upped the game of that double IPA, sea salt double IPA.
Yeah.
A little bit of
Catch a
kelp
little
on there,
salt in that the rim of the can.
right in the rim. A little bit of kelp. Very nice.
It actually wasn't that foamy.
No,
It was cold, delicious.
Yeah. Yeah, that ocean water, that little bath it took there, nice and cold. Chilled it
Think-
right down.
I think we're onto something here.
Yes. I don't recommend trying this at home or at the beach, I guess, really.
It seems like, what's the big deal? Just go and get it.
Yeah.
You really couldn't have. It was tricky.
I mean, here's the deal, right? You know,
Had you not had pants and shoes and
had there
with the
not
baby.
been other people on that beach, and had it not been this beach that is literally known for sucking people out to into the ocean, I would have been pants off in there. You know what I mean? I would have made it happen. But there were just too many people, and you know, there's a couple of people kind of looking at me. It's like, you know, if I strip down and dive in here, I think that I may come out to you know, some kind of law enforcement or something along those lines.
Yeah, and Drew slowed you down because you had to bring her back up to me, and I was checked out on a log.
Yeah. No,
I just looked away when all this happened.
Drew 100% slowed me down, but I will never tell her that until her wedding day, and I will tell her that in her speech, how she slowed me down, but I still made it anyway. Yeah. I don't want her living with that trauma.
Never forget.
That's right. So that was our adventure. It was a good time. And yeah, Huey, what you sent me a photo
Well,
today.
let me just say you've now set a bar pretty high that now we need to go out and find some place in nature and take
Cannon
some
Beach.
photos.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's a
That's
possibility.
that's Oregon's suck you in beach.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some, let me tell you, Oregon, there is some beautiful coastline. Absolutely beautiful coastline.
Dangerous as all hell.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
with,
joke.
With Devil's Churn, right?
I grew
The
up
Devil's
on the
Punch
Oregon
Bowl.
coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, Devil's Punch Bowl. Yeah, do not, if the beer goes in there, let it go. Let it go. It's
Yeah.
gone.
No. I'll bring extras just in
That's
case.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
But-
beautiful and mesmerizing, but it is a dangerous coastline. For sure.
Treacherous.
Very treacherous.
Have you been out to Hobbit Beach down the Hobbit Trail? A
No.
little bit north of Florence.
We've been here for a year and a half, but we still need to get out more and investigate. I'm actually thinking beer pictures with waterfalls.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Oregon's got waterfalls.
We're going to go chasing those waterfalls.
Summer of hiking 2.0.
Are we going to get a DMCA takedown notice because of me singing right now, or do you think
I
that
don't-
was
No,
bad enough?
That was bad enough. Yeah. To not get picked up by the AI.
Well, Nick, you sent me a picture this morning of some
Oh,
amazing
yeah.
deliciousness. Just it looked incredible, and my first thought was, where did you pull this photo from? But then I saw your hand in the picture. I'm like, oh no, you did this. What is this?
Yes. So, what was it? Last weekend, we went to a little local farm stand, where they sell one of the many things they sell are farm fresh eggs. They usually have duck eggs as well, but this time around they had something new, which were goose eggs. A little expensive. I think they were charging $5 an egg.
Wow.
But I mean, you saw this egg, the picture of the egg. It's like,
oh yeah.
it's like almost filling up my hand.
Oh, it's massive. Massive egg.
It's a pretty big egg. Yeah. And so from Costco sometimes, the Costco bakery sometimes produces these, they look like a Danish, but they have ham and cheese and a little bit of a bechamel in there as well. Which you can go ahead and just put in the oven and bake. And so they have enough of a little bit of a dish that you can crack an egg in there. And so that's what I did. Cracked an egg and put it in the air fryer for about 20 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah. So with Monica, I just did a chicken egg for her and that worked perfectly. The goose egg, on the other hand, I mean, you saw the giant yolk.
Oh yeah.
And there was just as much egg white that also didn't make it into that center because it almost was. Well, I mean, had I let all of it go in there, it would just been pouring out the sides all over the place and just a giant mess. So, I didn't get all of the egg white in there, but cutting it open, it was a thing of beauty. I'll have to make a post and share pictures
Absolutely.
of this thing. So, but yeah, I had never had a goose egg before. I mean, all eggs are delicious, but this goose egg, very nice, rich, flavored yolk. Yeah.
That's we haven't. I don't know. I don't think we've ever had a goose egg. Duck eggs we get from time to time, and duck eggs are wonderful. We do deviled eggs with those.
Oh yeah,
insane,
amazing. I was thinking that too. We've never had a goose egg.
No,
love eggs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All things eggs.
Tell you what I'd like to get a hold of is an ostrich egg.
Yes. So like long ago when I went to London at one of the big outdoor markets that they have, that was one of the one of the little vendors, they were selling ostrich eggs.
Ostrich eggs. How big are those things, man?
Huge. Like I'm trying to think of it's like maybe like this, almost the size of like a 5-pound medicine ball.
Yeah.
They're massive.
Wow.
And I got to see, like, they cracked one open out on like a little griddle that they had, and it basically just filled up this 17-inch griddle that they were using. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But
that's so cool.
Yeah. Could you imagine doing just like one giant deviled egg?
Dude, that's the only thing I've been thinking of since you said that. I'm like, dude, I would do a deviled egg, one big ass one. That'd be so good. So good. That dude, one deviled egg, that would get you for like a week for sure.
Yeah.
Just take your Easter tradition of the deviled eggs completely out. Just do one giant
Totally.
ostrich-sized deviled egg for Easter.
Yeah. I don't even know how you'd boil that thing. You'd have to have one of those big pots like you use for a crawfish boil. You know what I mean?
That is, yeah. I have this little, it's like a little pod with a clear lid over it for doing hard-boiled eggs, or in my case, I do soft and medium boiled eggs.
Yeah.
And it's just like this little steam pod thing that just plugs in, and you fill it with a tiny bit of water based on the amount of eggs that you have in there and at what boiled, ness you want your egg.
Yeah.
And it works pretty well. It's done within like, it seems weird, but like even the medium boil, it's like around 5 minutes, where normally it takes a bit longer for medium boil. So
yeah.
But
Good stuff.
I love my little, yeah.
Dude,
you're an egg lover when you have one of those.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, hard boiled eggs, poached eggs, I love it. Love it. These egg prices are actually really killing me right now. But yeah, for the longest time, the eggs we get, their price didn't change while all the other ones were, but just recently, even the ones that we get, they kicked up in price, and it's just like, oh man, okay.
What are they running at?
What are we paying for those?
I think they want it for $12.99.
Yeah.
And we're used to paying a lot for eggs.
Yeah.
Because we are egg snobs. We love really good eggs.
Well, we get the ones that are pasture raised, you know what I mean?
and
So they're not just eating feed, they're out like actually eating bugs and stuff like that. And that's, so
we justify it because they're healthy and we eat a ton of them.
Yeah.
And
Chickens are happy.
Yeah. So haven't really minded spending a little extra money on good eggs.
Yeah.
Same things we'd usually go to the farmer's market and get eggs.
Yep.
I just
so when everybody was talking about the high price of eggs, it didn't really change for us. But recently, I think they've kind of caught on and bumped up their prices too.
Yeah. Well, that was what the farm stand did recently, I think. So they used to be $4 a dozen. But when we hadn't been in a couple months, and when we went this last weekend, they're now $5 a dozen for chicken eggs. But they're amazing chicken eggs. Like I just sent you a picture, Travis, of this 18-pack that we got, which I think the 18-pack was like $7.
Yeah,
or something like that, $8,
$7.50, something like that.
Yeah,
but like just a wide variety of colors that the eggs came in and everything, and they're literally from a little place that's maybe 5 miles from us, where the chickens are actually raised.
Yeah, we love doing that too. Grabbing them from the farmers market. Same thing as people who are just like, hey, they raise them right there, close by, and they've got some of them are blue and brown or speckled or whatever, and it's like, hey, I trust you. Whatever dozen you think is good, and they're always delicious, so good. The thick shells and everything, yeah.
Yum. Good old eggs. We recently discovered that Monica can kind of eat eggs again.
Excellent. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Once you started talking about eggs, I was like, oh, has something changed?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're working on it. It was kind of a shock in the beginning. I was doing so well, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I can't have eggs anymore because I'm hugging the porcelain. Trying to keep that as nice as possible. And I don't recommend it. Especially married to someone who loves eggs. But yeah, we're slowly easing back into it. I'm not like fully integrated back, but here and there I'll have them cook me like a breakfast sandwich where the eggs fully cooked. Or some other dish that is fully cooked, and
yeah,
That's a hard thing to have an issue with.
Well, because eggs are in so many things.
Yeah, and try explaining that to your caterer. Like, I spent a good 30 minutes telling her, like, this is how it started and this is how it's going, and please take that into consideration with when you're doing anything that has to do with eggs. And then she's like, well, what about desserts? And I'm like, oh, please don't kill me right now with talking about desserts.
and for everybody, caterer, not just because Monica has a caterer who follows her around making delicious things for her all day, every day. No, this caterer is for a certain particular event that's coming up. And what's that event?
It's our wedding celebration. So technically it's our 1 year anniversary of being married. We decided to throw the big party a year later. And so, that's coming up. Unbeknownst, I didn't. And
really soon.
I did not know that it fell on Easter weekend.
We didn't either until like 2 weeks ago. We were like, oh shit.
I did not do that on purpose. I've had a couple people tell me like, hey, so where did you get the idea to have an Easter wedding? And I was like, no, that wasn't the plan. I just happened to find out. I emailed a couple florists just to kind of prepare and kind of get some quotes for flowers. And this one florist, she responds to my email saying that she does not do flowers for weddings on Easter weekend. And I looked at the email and what does Easter weekend have to do with my wedding? And that's when I looked it up, and I looked at Huey and I'm like, so our wedding celebration lands on Easter. I'm so sorry about that. And so,
we didn't know either. And we've known about this for a long time, right?
Long time. Oh, yeah.
And I just happened to look at the calendar because I wanted to invite family over on Easter. And I look and I'm like, oh, we're going to be in Oregon. That's you and Monica's wedding.
What? The
no
funny
idea.
thing is, I don't know why. For me, I associate Easter with May. Is it ever in May? Like rarely. I don't know.
I think it has been. It floats around so much.
Yeah, and so I for some reason in my head Easter is in May, and so it was like, how is this going to be Easter? But I don't know. I'm not good with calendars.
Yeah, but we felt silly. We're like same thing. We're like, should we have known this? Like,
yeah. So we're here getting this record in, and not tomorrow, but the day after, the morning, we're flying up. And then it kicks off. And, I thought, hey, we're all going to be in person. If we're not doing anything on Saturday, maybe we could do a record. And Stephanie's like, that's insensitive. Everyone's going to be a little bit busy. So,
hey, Travis, I never vocalized it here, but the thought did cross my mind the last few days.
I'll tell you what.
Because like we're, like the ladies are taking over our bedroom and bathroom and everything. We have our little room is going to be my tiny little office that we're recording in right now.
Yeah.
And I figured, maybe we're just hanging out in here. We could just turn on the mics.
Yeah.
And just have maybe some bonus reel footage.
I was already planning on bringing my my SM58 and my MV7, so I'm gonna have 2 mics with me. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I have this little dongle that hooks it into my phone. I was like, man, Friday when everybody's there having beers at the brewery, I may just go around and ask people about their beer. I don't know, man. What do they say? ABC, always be content. That's
I
it.
will make
can
sure he
already
does not
see.
do that.
I can already see Travis. So tell me about your beer.
I'm just saying, man. We may do another wine special Saturday at the winery.
Why not?
Yeah.
Do not harass anybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna harass them, and it's gonna
About-
be a bonus episode for the patrons. We're gonna have
Alcohol.
patreon.com.
I'll bring some koozies and leave them in the truck
Yes,
and
that's
some
right.
stickers.
Always be content.
Also,
well,
always be content.
that's right. Always be content. Yeah. And how can you not be when you got a nice crafty beverage? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
Well,
and
Not at this moment, but it's okay.
well, speaking of content and beverages, we are here to talk about beers and do a beer review. And I understand the 2 of you have a beer you're going to talk about, and Steph and I have a beer we're going to talk about.
Yes.
And yeah, what do you have? Nick and Monica, what beer are you talking about today?
So this is one that I got through Tavor, which if people aren't familiar, Tavor is a beer delivery service that it's an app that you download, and they just basically kind of have a gallery of the beers that they have available. These beers basically come from anywhere. I've seen some from breweries, in other countries, but primarily North America. And so this is a beer that I got through Tavor. It's from Icarus Brewing, which I believe is based in New Jersey. It's called Thrash Bash. It's a triple IPA.
Ooh, nice.
The original version has milk sugar, lactose in it
Yeah.
for like a nice thick triple IPA, kind of shaky like.
Yeah.
But I guess they have a series of beers where that they would have with lactose in, that are lactose free versions of those.
Okay.
And they use oats to fluff them to give the similar kind of milkshake IPA effect.
Yeah, kind of give you that same silky mouth feel and what have you, that
Yes.
body.
Exactly. And that's exactly what was in this can.
Yeah.
Great beer. Let's see here. So it's got Azaka, Mosaic, and Strata hops in it.
Oh, very nice. Very
Yes. It was almost like an Orange Julius in a way.
nice. Yeah.
A danky, hoppy Orange Julius.
Mosaic, I want to say, is one of the first hops that ever came to my attention that had the fruity aspect to it. Not just citrus, but also kind of more fruity notes to it. I feel like Mosaic is the first one I can ever remember seeing that had those qualities to it. So that's really interesting. They threw that in there, and then you said it has Azaka and Strata also.
Correct.
Yeah, Azaka. I'm trying to think when that came on the scene. I think that was after Mosaic, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, another quality hop there. Strata, definitely another quality hop that you don't see quite as often. I feel like we used to see that a couple of years ago. Yeah, interesting. I'd love to dive more into that hop for sure.
Absolutely. And as always, well, in this case, when I was looking through Tavor, I saw that it was a triple IPA, but like I said, I'm always a label guy. This one had an interesting label. I don't know if you guys can kind of see
Oh wow.
Kind of Conan barbarian looking dude with some giant angel wings on him.
Totally.
I don't know the whole story behind that, but great label. Also great beer. I'm definitely curious and trying to find more beers from this Icarus Brewing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall,
Dude,
great beer though.
that's some really sick label artwork on there. That was pretty badass. It's got almost like kind of a Thor kind of face and thing going on there with the long hair, but then has the feathery wings and everything. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
I actually have it here because the label will eventually make it onto my table here.
Yeah.
So you'll see it when you get here. It's a very nice beer label table.
Very nice. And triple IPA, what's the ABV on that bad boy?
It is 10.3%.
Wow, 10.3.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And honestly, drinking it, you wouldn't even think it was that high in ABV.
It's really interesting the way that we've changed technique on those higher gravity beers. I mean, I remember back the first time I had a barley wine was that Bigfoot Sierra Nevada, and that one I don't even think it's that much higher than the triple you have there. What's Bigfoot? Is that maybe around an 11, or it might even be in the 10s? I'm not sure.
I believe so. Yeah.
It's syrupy almost with the amount of malt that they put in there in that barley wine, and it was difficult to drink sometimes because of the syrupiness if you weren't ready for it. But yeah, we're getting a lot of these much even higher ABV beers, some that are in the 12s, 13s even, and they still have that kind of, light body and kind of crispness and not that syrupy character. So you can sit and drink them. And I don't know, it's the type of thing that'll throw you off because it's got more alcohol in it than you would expect as you're putting it down,
Definitely. But this could definitely do some damage. It's very easy drinking TIPA compared to other TIPAs that I've had out there. Like I said, it was a great beer. I wish I had ordered more, but it is what it is. I hope to find it again one day, and hopefully I can find at some point the actual lactose version and get a comparison to it.
So with Tavor, how does that come in? Does it come in a 4Z, or do they sell singles, or how's it work?
So they're typically sold in singles. You can get multiples, but you get you start a crate, what they call a crate, and so that crate is open until a certain closing date, and then within a few days after that crate closing date is when it ships out to you. And so typically you'll have a crate that's open for 2 to 3 weeks at a time, maybe more. You can kind of set a date range of when your crate closes so you can get them shipped out to you.
Yeah.
And so in that time period, they'll be posting, a beer or two a day or every couple of days. And, you could set it up to have notifications come up on your phone when a new beer is offered. And from there, you can select an amount. Usually they have a limitation. Most of the time it's at 4 beers that you can order at a time. But you can add as much as you want into your crate. Once your crate is closed, it's $15 for shipping, or at least that's what it's charged for me. And it comes from Seattle, Washington.
Yeah.
But it's the crate is always a flat rate. There was one point when we were still living in San Jose, I went a little overboard. And my crate, I put, I probably ordered about 40 different beers.
Yeah.
And it ended up being 2 boxes. They package everything fairly well. There was a couple times I got some dented cans and they ended up giving me some credit and everything. But I never again did I make that mistake. That was an insane amount of beer. But now, I'm only, I order maybe I'm very selective with what I choose from there.
Yeah.
And their prices are a little bit higher, but again, they're providing a service that you're getting a small selection of beers that you normally wouldn't be able to find in your local home area.
Totally. Yeah. And that's one of the things that I've talked to, you remember our buddy Sean Moriarty.
Yes.
I've been talking to him recently, and he's in Colorado and he's involved in the beer scene there. And that's one thing that, I was kind of talking to him about is like, yeah, California, we can get, as far as the craft stuff, we can get all kinds of California. We've got all these breweries here. But it's rare that we'll get craft stuff from other states. And that's one of the things he was talking about, is that breweries have a really hard time getting into the California market, just for the fact that we have so many breweries here already that have a leg up by not having to have an interstate distributor, that it's just really difficult to get distributors to bring smaller breweries in because they're at a disadvantage with the additional cost. And so, yeah, having something like this as Tavour, where it's like, hey, I'm going to pay a little bit more, but I can get beers from this wider area. That sounds like a great thing. I'm going to check it out.
Definitely. And there's been a few beers that I've got through Tavour from different areas in Colorado. One of them brewery that they kind of feature frequently, I would say, was it Weldworks? Yeah.
Yeah, Weldworks, yeah.
And then I can't think of them right now because it's been a while, but there's definitely been at least a few other breweries based in Colorado that they've had offerings of.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
and it's a huge variety. I mean, I've seen mead. I know I've sent you screenshots of like bottles of mead that they have.
Oh yeah.
Crazy stouts. Another brewery that they feature a lot, which we've gotten quite a few beers from, is Anchorage Brewing in Alaska.
Yes.
Their labels are amazing.
Oh my God. Yeah. I think those are the ones that we really shop labels, because they're awesome.
Very dark and violent looking labels. But they're
as you would be up in that area, right? I mean, don't they have just a super long nights in the winter and everything?
30 Days a Night or whatever that was with the vampires.
Yes, man, what a crazy movie that was.
But yeah, it's really cool getting the different variety. Like obviously all the different IPAs that they feature all the time.
Yeah.
Limited release barrel-aged stouts that they have, sometimes offer. And there's a serious amount of people that actually, that use Tavour, because there'll be like some limited release beer that they post up and it's sold out within a couple hours.
Oh, wow.
And I'd imagine that they probably get at least, 30, 40, bottles, cans of, some kind of limited release. So
yeah,
to see things sell out very quickly, it's a little discouraging at times. Like I'll see something I'll want, and then it's like, oh, it's gone.
Yeah. You got to be on it.
Yep. So, what beer did you? Was this the beach beer?
No,
that you're doing? Oh, okay.
That beach beer was consumed that day on the beach. And if any law enforcement are listening, it was not consumed on the beach. It was consumed in some other place that's legal to drink beer. But for everyone else, drank it right there on the beach, enjoyed it in the sun and the sand, and it was beautiful. But we are going to be talking about a beer from Discretion Brewing. Discretion out of Santa Cruz. They're local hometown boys. Have their brewery going there, and this one is called Uncle Dave's IPA, and it's a rye IPA. And we've got, it's got that rye in there for a little bit of spiciness. I'm going to say this right off the bat. This is a beer that as soon as we got into it, I immediately knew this was not going to be Steph's favorite beer.
I like it.
Stephanie, you don't have to lie.
No, it's growing on. It really is. It's just, it is a little more malty than I normally go for.
Yeah.
That malty flavor is not my go-to, but it's good. But it reminds me of older IPAs.
Older IPAs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely, it has that malt character.
And so in that sense, it's very nostalgic.
Very nostalgic.
Taking me back to living in San Jose.
Yes.
Living in the townhouse.
That's right.
Those taste very similar to the beers we had.
You describe, just like back when we were in North San Jose and the townhouse that I hated. Like, oh, that's not the right kind of nostalgia.
I didn't hate it there. I loved it there. And these are the types of beers that we had a lot of because that's what people were making.
Yeah, it's true. It was, well, I mean, you all remember back when IPAs were first kicking off and they were, they were real malty, and Lagunitas was the kind of the standard, and then it built from there. And as they were dropping more and more hop bitterness into it, it was, you had to come with a lot more of that malt to balance the bitterness. Whereas now we've moved away from using the hops as a bittering agent. And so IBUs are way down. So malt character is taking a back seat, and we're just getting the hop aroma and flavor and juiciness and all of that. And so today's IPA is very different than, I mean, even 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know how a smell will take you back to a memory?
Yeah.
Like, that's what this is doing for me. It's like that malt and that flavor.
Yeah.
It's very familiar to me. And it's not bad.
No, it's
just,
not. It's a great beer. I want to say that we're joking around here. It's a good beer. It is.
Yes, it is.
If you look at Steph, hold that up right now. You can see that it's got this almost like orangish amber color with like a little bit of ruby to it almost. I mean, just a beautiful color that I think some of that's coming from that rye grain. And it's not like that real in your face rye, but it's got that little bit to it where you're like, oh, there's something there. And you're like, oh, is that rye in there? And it is. Like, it's got enough character that it's there without really just beating you over the head with it.
Do you know what it reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of the Lagunitas
Yeah.
IPA, like similar taste.
Yeah.
Which then reminds me of taking the train to Giants game.
Taking the train to Giants game.
The train to Giants games beer.
Yes. Yeah, we used to, on the way to the Giants games, we would hop on the Caltrain, right?
Mhm.
That would go from, where'd we pick it up? Mountain View?
Or Burlingame.
Yeah, well,
usually Mountain
sometimes.
View.
Usually we'd grab it in Mountain View and then
Yeah.
ride it all the way up to the game.
Yeah.
And you could drink on the train. You were allowed to drink on the train, so we'd bring a sixer, knock them down, and then we'd go in and watch the game. Then we did that a lot. It was
During
great.
the
We
weekends.
did do that a lot.
Those
It
are
was
the longer
outstanding.
trains,
That's right.
meaning
Yeah,
more stops, meaning more drinking.
that's right. That's why you
It
got to
was-
bring that six pack.
Mountain View to the City is a 3-beer ride.
It was a 3-beer ride, and it worked out perfectly. And yeah, so it definitely, it's got that similar malt character, but with the rye added. I absolutely agree. And that's every time I catch a whiff of this right now, I'm just like that. It reminds me of that Lagunitas malt character. Really good. And as I was saying, low IBUs on this one, 52. And
Oh, wow.
for today's IPAs, that's a high IBU. But remember, it's not that high when you're thinking about the, 80, 85 IBU IPAs of yesteryear when they were just beating that bitterness into it. And so this is at 52. It's not that high. Really well balanced. And yeah, just an excellent beer. 6.5%. So, it's one that you can drink 3 of them on the train. Well, not 3 of these, because this bad boy here, I don't know if you can see this thing. Do you see this? This is a 19.6 fluid ounce can, 19.6 ounces. So
A slightly taller tall boy.
it is a taller tall boy. It is. This is a big can right here. So, don't be knocking 3 of these down on your way to the game. You're going to have you're not going to make it to the game. Is what
You're
it
looking for a
is.
bathroom.
But yeah, excellent beer. Steph, what do you think? And again, I know it's not your favorite go-to style, but what do you think about it?
I like it.
Yeah.
I don't have as many words for beers.
That's all right. That's all right.
Sorry, I'm not bringing more to the table here.
No, that's okay. Look, as we've seen before, right? You get Steph in front of a glass of wine, and she's got all the descriptors all day. Steph loves a beer. Don't get me wrong. Loves a beer, loves a bunch of different styles. But, it's talking about beers is, me and Nick's game. That's what we do.
Yeah, sure. I do it okay.
When it comes down
Actually-
to drinking the beers is our game. That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I
Enjoying.
feel. I like to drink the beer, Actually, why am I here?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah. But look, this Discretion Brewing, they've got a lot of good things going on. They were one of the first to be powering their brewery with solar power. They do a lot with their sourcing to make sure that their ingredients are coming from sustainable agriculture. They, like many other breweries, they donate their grain to pig farms. And I think I was looking at it. It was something like 200,000 or 250,000 pounds of grain that they donate to pig farms instead of ending up in a landfill. And it's like, it's really cool. I like their message. I like what they're doing, and they're making some really good beers. So, I mean, what's not to like?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've actually been there before. They're on 41st Avenue, right?
I
Capitola,
yeah.
Santa
think
Cruz
so.
area.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a cool little spot. They
We
also
rode
have
the
their own
motorcycle
food.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, we rode the motorcycle there. Yeah. It's-
Yeah.
but they have some good dishes. I know that the menu probably has changed significantly more, or a lot since the last time we were there. But I know that even the few times that we went, there was always kind of a slightly different menu. Pretty creative chefs
I think
that they
we
have.
ordered some like chocolate dessert or something. Yeah, that I was like, we should come back for this. And I don't think we ever did.
That
I think
that's
about
funny
it.
that you say that. That's something that you don't see a lot at breweries is desserts. A lot of times they'll have like various savory items. You don't really see desserts,
Yeah.
and it's interesting that you brought that up because what I've just recently been seeing on the Instagram, the gram as the kids call it. The kids probably don't call it that. But on the Instagram, I have seen
for the brand.
Epidemic. They have been doing a beer and cookie pairing, and I think what they're doing is having Girl Scouts show up with cookies. They do like a beer and cookie pairing tasting, and then people buy the Girl Scout cookies and buy beers, and they're like, this is a perfect way for us to get people to try these things and then help these Girl Scouts sell a bunch of cookies. And I thought, that's brilliant.
At like putting Girl Scout cookie sales in front of cannabis dispensaries.
It's right in front of the dispensary, right there.
Yeah.
You give the people what they want.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
I follow this, I'm in this beer group for girls on Facebook, and I
It's okay,
see
Monica. You can say it's called AA. No, I'm just kidding.
and I think it was last year, I was kind of marking all these breweries around Oregon that do the same thing, but it was mainly during the summer where it's a pairing of a beer with a dessert. It could be a cookie, it could be a cake, it could be a brownie, like plethora. And I was like marking all these places like, thanks, girls. I'm going to keep this into consideration for next summer.
Yeah. Oh man, this sounds like we're going to do another Hoppy Trails road trip here, and we're going to bring the whole families along.
And the other thing I've been wanting to find is where you like sip and paint or sip in something. You're painting on a skateboard, or you're painting on canvas or whatever, but you're sipping on beer and painting.
Yeah, those paint nights. That's something that I always wanted to do, and I think every time we'd look for one around us, they'd be sold out because I think they're super popular. But those are always, painting and wine. And as you know, if you listen to episode 3, we will all drink a glass of wine. We will not turn it down. However, how fun would it be if they did like a paint night or something like that with beers? That's brilliant, Monica.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
I would love that.
They do sell out really fast because I've tried to do that many times. And Travis and I have noticed that they sell out by what picture is being painted.
Yes.
So usually the city scenes, like San Francisco city scene.
We're going to paint the Golden Gate Bridge.
Those ones always sell out first.
Sold out.
It's kind of funny.
When I lived in Colorado, the town I was living in did that. They had a sip and paint night, and they all painted on a skateboard and granted, they painted like the Colorado logo, but still, it was nice to see. And
Yeah.
do.
I think that'd be fun too. Paint on a skateboard deck. That's kind of a cool, fun thing. You know, a little bit different than just on the canvas. Give you something unique to hang up. I like that.
Yeah, I'd totally be down to collect a couple skateboards. I'm not a skateboarder, but why not?
I
Yeah.
could never figure out how to skateboard.
I'm not that coordinated.
I skate and rollerblade, no problem. But
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
skateboard's too complex for me.
Well, who knows? We could maybe organize something where we do like a remote drink beer and paint something too over Zoom, maybe with some of the listeners some point down the road. But yeah, if nothing
That'd
else,
be pretty
let's find one and the four of us should meet up and go do it wherever it is. Oregon would be great. We always love going up to Oregon, which is why we're so stoked that we're gonna be up there in a couple of days. Yeah.
We're so excited for you guys.
Now,
Totally.
what's
Thanks.
the
Yes.
what's the brewery that the hotel is on top of?
Sun River Brewing.
Sun
So
River Brewing.
the hotel above it is the Hyatt Place.
Yeah.
But it is Sun River Brewing. It's originated from Sun River,
Sun River in Oregon,
in Oregon.
which is just south of Bend.
Okay.
So that's the original location. And so the spot that's here in Eugene is just kind of like, I believe they might do some brewing, maybe just for on-site consumption.
Yeah.
But it it's a brew pub.
Yeah.
And it's actually a pretty decent sized space. They kind of have an upstairs area above their kitchen and bar. And then down, on the main level, they have large inside area. And then they're along the street. So they have kind of a patio area that it kind of rides along the street at the base of the building.
Yeah.
There's a couple other restaurants next to it, but they've got a great menu. Awesome selection of beer. One of my favorites is their stout, the Cocoa Cow. I'm sure you guys have. I think I might have given you a can of that in the past.
I feel like you have. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
But no, they've got some nice selection of beers
don't-
that are tasty.
And don't they put that in some sort of shake?
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
like some kind of like a float
Float?
with the Cocoa Cow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that sounds outstanding. Well, that's going to be a lot of fun. I know we're going to be there. We're going to see some folks I haven't seen in a long time. That's going to be really good. So it'll be fun, and we'll drink some beers, and then the wedding we'll drink some wine, have some good food, good people.
Definitely.
It's going to be a blast.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, wonderful. Well, what else do we have going on? Anything? I mean, we've
Yeah, I think at least for the time being. But we'll see what the future holds. We might be doing some things coming up here in the next couple weeks after the wedding. We still have some family that are going to hang out a little bit after the wedding, and might take a trip up the coast to hang out with some friends. So yeah, hopefully we'll find some good things along the Hoppy Trail.
excellent. There's always good things along the Hoppy Trail.
Absolutely.
Well, as always, everyone check out our socials. Nick, what do we have for ways people can follow and contact us?
On Instagram, you can find us at Hoppy Trails Pod. And if you'd like to reach out to us, maybe provide a trail report of a place that you've been to, you can send an email to contact@hoppytrailspod.com. And yeah, that's pretty much the best way to contact us right now.
Yeah.
I think we've talked a little bit about potentially offering a voicemail. People can call in if you want to and leave messages and some questions that we could potentially cover on an episode.
Yeah. So there'll be new things coming out all the time. We're working on a Discord server that's getting started. We'll find a way to get more people involved with that. And who knows? We'll have some maybe special perks that we're offering soon through some other means. But yeah, we're working on it. We're getting some things going here. Hopefully you're enjoying what you listen to, and give us some feedback. Let us know what you're doing along the Hoppy Trail. We always love to hear it, and who knows, maybe you'll inspire us to make a trip out your direction. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's it for us this time. We look forward to seeing you next time, and remember, always say yes to the hoppy ending.
Always say yes.
Cheers. The preceding podcast was produced by Sequoia Productions, LLC, copyright 2022, all rights reserved. If you enjoyed this show and you're looking for more, or even if you're looking for something a little different, check out the other amazing shows by Sequoia Productions, wherever you get your podcasts, or on sequoia.com.
Hoppy trails to brew until we drink again. Hoppy trails to brew. Keep sharing with your friends. Who cares about which IPA tastes better? ABV are just a couple letters. Hoppy trails to brews until we